Yeah, Hartlepool on Boxing Day, massive game. What are your sort of thoughts and feelings going into that one?
I'm excited about it. I think it's going to be a really good game and a good day. Obviously, it's massively important for both sides. Hartlepool have got a league game in between, which obviously, depending on how they do there, will depend on what kind of mood they come here in. But ultimately, it's a local derby. It's going to be a big crowd, so both teams are bound to be up for it.
It's an important game for the match itself, but also this time of season as well. Looking forward.
Yeah, it's a huge 3 games. It's really, I can't emphasise enough to the players how important they are, how the preparation, what they do when they're not at the training ground over this spell, because this festive period for footballers is work. It always has been. I've been in football a long time, and I've seen Christmas as always as a working time. Our time off is May, June. Christmas is the busiest time, and New Year. So this is really the toughest part of the season. The whole squad will be needed, and we need to look after ourselves and put in performances.
Will you be treating it like any other game, or will the crowd or the sort of occasion add to that?
It'll add to the spectacle, but ultimately, it's the most important game of the season for me, and not just because it's the next one, but it really, as I said, there's three games coming up will really sort of dictate where we're going to go in the new year. We could, touch wood, if we got 3 wins, we could be well up the table, and we could have a load of confidence to drive on in the new year. So that's how we have to look at it.
And what's your assessment of Hartlepool? Obviously, you've played them already at Macclesfield.
Yeah, I mean, I actually thought they were a really strong side when we played them, and they've still got good players. I know they've got a few injuries. Obviously, today will tell us more when we go and watch them today. But obviously, the results that they've had haven't reflected that. Which, when I got here and had a look at our squad, the results hadn't reflected the quality that we had either. So, as I say, one-off games like local derbies and things like that almost throw the rule book out the window and the form book out the window. So I'm expecting the toughest game of the season.
Will it affect things at all, them playing today and you guys training?
As I say, it could work in their favour. They could put in a great performance and boost their confidence. They could lose the game and come here, with another defeat. It all depends on what they do today. But as I've said to you a number of times, I kind of look at us and only us. We could do analysm on their team, and we can look at systems and things. But I've always said, if we perform to our maximum ability at home and dominate the possession and turn the chances that we've had into goals, we can beat most teams in the league.
It's been an eventful week for Hartlepool, talk of a takeover and injuries and stuff. I guess you've pretty much ignored that and just focused on yourself.
Yeah, and I think Hartlepool players and the manager will be doing the same. Footballers, once they get out onto the pitch and out on the training pitch, that's their release, and nothing affects that. So when they go out on the pitch, they certainly won't be worrying about what's happening above their heads. It might affect the manager every now and again if it's to do with his boss, but as I say, footballers, they won't get affected by that, so it shouldn't affect their performance, I wouldn't have thought.
Coming to see a live football game sort of synonymous with Boxing Day. Newcastle aren't playing, similar no way. This seems like the place to be on Boxing Day.
Yeah, I think it'll be a great day. As I say, I've got loads of friends and family who are Newcastle season ticket holders who are heading over on Boxing Day, and I hope that there's a few more do the same, because, as I say, it's a local derby. We do need the support. The supporters that we do have are fantastic, but you can always have more, and we're hoping for that Boxing Day.
Your last 2 wins have came in stoppage time. I'm sure you'll take that again on Boxing Day, but it's not good for the heart as a manager.
No, it isn't. As I say, the disappointing thing about the Gateshead game was the amount of chances and possession we had at the first half, and if we'd have gone in at half time 3-4-0 up, I don't think anybody would have been surprised or had any complaints. But while you're at 1-0 and teams have always got a chance off a set play, and that's what happened. It was off I think it was off a long throw the other night, and it was off a set play against Torquay. So until you start putting your chances away that you create, then you're always going to be leaving it like last gasp.
Is it frustrating as a manager conceding goals like that, particularly the times you've been conceding in the Torquay late on?
It is, yeah. It's a little bit of concentration. It's a little bit of it's a little bit of luck, you know, where the ball bounces, and it's a little bit of desire as well, just to go and put your head through the ball, just to be the one that wins it. And as I've said in the press conference after the game, you know, unlike us the other night, we were actually dominated by their two strikers, which, as I said the other night, you know, I know that won't happen again with the lads that we've got.
It's full training session today and tomorrow. Touch wood, it'll be a full squad for Tuesday.
Yeah, hopefully. Paddy was feeling his hamstring on Wednesday, and we could have played him, we could have risked him, but that would have risked maybe him tearing it and maybe 2-3 weeks. So we try to make the best decision for Paddy. Dan Hanford had a little thigh strain that he'd been carrying a little while, but we're always going to give Monty the game anyway on Wednesday. So hopefully everybody's going to come back fully fit. I'll see you in 5 minutes.
The 120 minutes on Wednesday, was that the ideal preparation, or would you like to change things a bit?
As I said, it would have affected us if we'd have been playing today. You know, that 120 minutes would have really sort of affected the game today. But as it happens, we haven't got a game this Saturday, so it could even do the lads who needed the minutes under the belt some good, as long as they don't have any fatigue injuries because of it. But as I say, they've had a day off, and they've rested well, hopefully. So fingers crossed, fully fit squad. Yeah.
And what do you need to do to give yourself the best chance of getting a result on Tuesday?
I just think we need to play to our potential. I think if we do that, and you know, the players are positive and they make the right decisions with the ball, make the right decisions without the ball. As I said before, we do that with the players that we've got. You know, we'll win games, and hopefully it'll start Boxing Day.